Section 1 of How a British Subject Became President of the United States. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Kevin Davidson. How a British Subject Became President of the United States by Arthur P. Hinman. To the Citizens of the United States. The Constitution of the United States requires that both the President and the Vice President should be native-born. Article 2 reads, "No person except a natural-born citizen... shall be eligible to the office of President." And Article 12 of the amendments reads, "But no person constitutionally ineligible to the office of President shall be eligible to that of Vice President of the United States." It is a matter of much interest to know whether our present President was eligible to the Vice Presidency. Chester A. Arthur, when nominated as a candidate for the Vice Presidency, was, at first, unable to name his birthplace. The party managers insisted that he should name a spot before he wrote his letter of acceptance. At that time, he gave out to the press of the country that he was going on a fishing excursion with his friend Robert G. Dunn of the Mercantile Agency, in order that he might have time to prepare his acceptance. In point of fact, he started with Mr. Dunn for Montreal, in the province of Quebec, Canada, and made a search of the records there to see if anything existed showing that he was born in Canada. Not finding any there, it occurred to him that he would be safe in naming some out-of-the-way place in the United States, and consequently he chose a place where a deceased brother was born, and thus made it appear that he was native-born. Therefore, it will be still more interesting and entertaining to trace the genealogy of the man who did not want to recall it for himself. A citizen of New York State has ascertained all of the facts, and here relates them. Almost a century ago there lived in Ballymena County, Antrim, Ireland, a Scotchman named Gavin MacArthur. He had a wife and several children, and had emigrated from Scotland on account of a family difficulty arising from his having embraced the Protestant religion, while his friends and relatives were of the Roman Catholic faith. Shortly after his arrival in Ireland, his religious zeal caused him to change his family name from MacArthur to Arthur. It is understood that he made this change to distinguish his branch of the family from that of the Roman Catholic branch. In the year 1796 a son was born to this Gavin Arthur, and he was named William Arthur, in honor of William of Orange. This boy was educated at what was then known as the Blue School in Belfast. He simply acquired a common school education. On leaving school in the year 1818, he emigrated in a sailing vessel from Derry, Ireland, to Three Rivers in Canada. It may here be remarked that, like a great many of the young men of his age, he was very fond of the three great evils of this life, that is, R.W.T. Billy Arthur, as he was familiarly called by his associates in Canada, came direct from Three Rivers to a place called Upper Mills, now known as Stanbridge, Canada, looking for employment as a teacher. He offered to give lessons in writing, being a fine penman at a very small salary. He was engaged for one term in the year 1819. Two of his scholars at that time, Erastus Chandler and Luther Burley, are still living. On leaving Stanbridge, he obtained a government school at Dunham Flats, Canada, a place about 7 miles east of Stanbridge. Here he remained for several years, and one of his scholars, Joseph Baker, is still living there. He says that he remembers William Arthur very well, and that he attended his school from about 1819 to 1821. He remembers his marriage to the daughter of George Washington Stone, a Methodist priest at Dunham, and that they ran across the line to East Berkshire, Vermont, to get married. When they returned to
Sample complete. Ready to continue?